Let's bring in Ross Gerber, continue the conversation, President and CEO at Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management. And even though I'm not like a believer in the Vision Pro potential as a product, I totally get why you talk about it a good bit, is because they need something hot and new, right?
Yeah, it's not just hot and new in the sense of, yeah, it's nice, but it's also just a complete change in the way that computing is being done. And I think when you look at the massive innovation like we're seeing with AI and what it's doing to databases, spatial computing is that innovation for computing. And when you think about things like a simple thing, like I'm redoing my house and I'm looking at furniture, it would be great to be able to just place it in my house in 3D wearing these glasses. So I'm a big gamer. I can't even imagine playing Call of Duty with one of these things. So I think there's lots of utility for this, whether it's in fun or in business, or especially in things like design and in creative industries. But more importantly, this is a piece of hardware that will drive lots more software and lots more, spending on software, especially because many of the apps work, it's easy to reprogram for Vision Pro. So this is Apple's next big thing, and I expect it to be wildly successful.
When do you think that should start to show up in the real kind of business plan and stock valuation?
Unfortunately, I don't think it's a big economic story for 2024 more than 2025 as they scale, very similar to the Cybertruck challenges. And we actually have a bet at the firm, will there be more Vision Pros sold or Cybertrucks in 2024? And I took Cybertrucks, but that said, Vision Pro is hard to make. It's very expensive, and it's customized to each user. So it's going to be a slow rollout for it. But like Cybertruck, it's going to get people really excited about Apple once these things hit the consumer market. So I think that's really what will drive Apple's potential gains in the future, is this product. And then obviously a better economy globally would help Apple a lot.
Yeah, the China sales here were pretty disappointing, and I think it's tempting to kind of chalk that up to macro, but I don't know if we should at this point. The sort of, quote, soft band to some extent and a lot of cheap competition, have they peaked out in China?
No, I think it's geopolitical. So there is a certain anti-American approach that China's taking right now, but Chinese consumers love Apple products. I think it's economic. The economy in China is way worse than what we're reading about in the papers. And, it's just a tough time in China to do business. We're seeing a rebound in certain leisure activities like in Macau and certain areas, but overall the Chinese consumer is not in a great mood. And China is in a recession, even though they publish, these lie numbers that they put out. But so when you look at their numbers in China, they actually aren't that bad considering all the headwinds.
Okay. What are your thoughts on the services side? It seems like every other major company that has dabbled in the streaming world other than Netflix has regretted it. I mean, sales keep going up for this group, but it's not like a profit engine, is it? It's not like cloud for Amazon.
No, it's the opposite. They don't have to put work in, and they get a 30% tax on everybody else's work. So Apple's golden gravy train of services is obviously at risk from a legal perspective and a business model perspective because it's such a high cut. So that's the risk to services. On the other side of the coin, it's the platform to be on, and it's a monopoly. So they just rake it in continuously. And a lot of the services numbers is related to the developers who are developing on the platform. But, I think services is a great business for Apple, and it's easy for them as long as somebody doesn't stop them from collecting 30%. It's a goldmine.
You think these new chips are going to power Mac sales at a time when there's a lot of questions about the personal computing market?
No, I think that people buy computers because they need them, or theirs is worn out, and the quality of the products is so high now that the incremental gains of technology are less impressive to the average consumer. I was looking at the new iPhone, and I thought it was actually a pretty impressive piece of technology relative to the older ones, but it wasn't like I had to get it. My iPhone works perfectly good. And so I think that's the problem with trying to sell people on technology, is it's really just a natural upgrade cycle, and I don't think people are going to go out of their way to get a little bit better chip.
All right. Yeah, understood. Feel that sentiment. All right, Ross, think that's every business line. Appreciate the breakdown.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, you got it. Thanks. Ross Gerber, President and CEO at Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management.